Welcome to e-commerce. The purpose of this presentation is to introduce you to some of the key components of e-commerce, to understand what e-commerce is, why it's necessary to study e-commerce, and what are the major components involved in the e-commerce process. Let's look firstly at an overview of the e-commerce framework. And an e-commerce strategy process involves, for any person planning to market goods and services through the internet, to involve themselves in a strategy process which involves 6 steps. First of all, it is necessary for the marketer to frame their market opportunity. In other words, they've got to decide what they're going to market and where they're going to market and to whom they are going to market. Secondly, they need to define their business model. In other words, how are they going to do it? Thirdly, they need to decide upon what sort of customer interface they're going to have. In other words, what sort of customer experience are they going to present? What sort of experience is the customer going to have through their encounter with the website of the supplier? Fourthly, matters concerning marketing, communication, branding need to be decided upon. The plan needs to be implemented and then it needs to be evaluated. And what we're going to do is we're going to look in a little bit of detail at this 6-step or this 6-part process. The strategy process, however, rests on 2 key platforms. Firstly, it rests upon the network infrastructure upon which the internet is based. In other words, we're talking here about an internet-based marketing strategy. And secondly, it is a strategy that rests upon the convergence or the bringing together of different forms of media. And by that we mean that there is now a digital convergence between the traditional media infrastructure and between the new network infrastructure. And the traditional media infrastructure, including the print media, television, radio, music and motion pictures, are now being converged digitally by the network infrastructure, which involves things like cabling and broadcast radio, satellite technology and wireless technology. New technologies have brought together old media and new media. The internet upon which e-commerce is based, upon which the conduct of e-commerce is based, is transforming the world economy. The internet has changed the way that people live and learn and work and play and consume. And this is becoming increasingly so because the internet is becoming more pervasive now. There was a time when the internet was confined to a PC on one's desk, and then it was confined to a laptop which one could carry in their car. But now it's only confined to a handheld instrument that can go into your pocket. Where it will go next, we are not too sure. Technology is at the centre of the e-commerce revolution, resulting in a dramatic change in the interface or the interaction between a customer and a firm. In fact, the interrelationship between the customer and a firm, when it is mediated through the internet, is a completely new interaction. The internet changes the way businesses should sensibly organise their activities and go to market. And that doesn't necessarily mean that all firms should just go to market and just market their products through the internet. But firms have got to look carefully now and say, is the internet going to be the prime way in which I market my goods, or is it going to be a supplement, a complement to the way that I am currently marketing? The internet is affecting all forms of economic activity, and every country now is being simultaneously either threatened or made vulnerable or empowered by the new economy. And by that we mean globalisation and the internet has meant that because a company can market and sell its products virtually anywhere in the world, it presents an opportunity to expand one's market. But on the other hand, it also means that other companies in the same industry that reside in other locations or other countries can also threaten one's own business. So the internet provides a whole new set of challenges and exciting opportunities, and also a future which at this stage we're really not too sure where it's leading and where it's going to. We can only predict. It is interesting when we look at a chart which shows us the way in which mediums have been adopted over time. We see that, for example, with radio that was introduced in the early 1900s, it took radio 38 years to achieve what it took 5 years for the internet to achieve. For the radio to get 50 million users, it took 38 years. For the internet to get 50 million users, it only took 5 years. And when you look at these, when you look at this graph, you can see that the internet has been the most quickest adopted medium of any medium, radio, television, cable, in living history. So what is e-commerce? E-commerce is characterised by several attributes, several characteristics. First of all, e-commerce is about an exchange of digital information between parties. It's an exchange of information, and so is any commercial transaction, but the e-commerce is a transaction which is done digitally. It can be an exchange between organisations, between individuals, or both. We have business to commerce, to consumers, we have business to business transactions, we have consumer to consumer transactions, all happening as a part of the e-commerce exchange. E-commerce is technology enabled. Transactions are being managed in e-commerce by the use of technology. Making transactions through the use of internet browsers in the World Wide Web is the best known example of technology enabled consumer-customer interface. It is the World Wide Web which is the greatest user of technology that is resulting in transactions. E-commerce is not only technology enabled, but it is technology mediated, and by that we mean that transactions now are occurring in what we call market space. The place where a buyer and a seller meet to transact business is moving from the physical world, which we have traditionally called the marketplace, to the virtual world, which we call market space. So the space in which we are transacting business has changed from the physical to the virtual. And there are a number of categories of e-commerce. We have business-to-business transactions where business do business with each other. We have consumers doing business with other business.